when they had this computer, it was God's gift last night. Well, nothing was working on it. I think it's time to talk here. Free market is eating this stuff because of that over there. It's free market. A regulated market, cut out GST. Somebody's got to pull the punches somewhere. You might not all agree, and you listen to one person, you listen to another. But Cal Newport talked about critical thinking. We don't have it now, but maybe you will. And this is a serious election in Canada. I'm leaving Canada. I've had enough of the free market system. That's why I'm leaving. I'm going to Australia. But I'm going to take every advantage of being a Canadian. Now, if Mark Carney gets in, I'm still a Canadian. I'll take my pension and go overseas. If he doesn't, I'll renounce citizenship. Am I mad? I don't want a free market system when Australia's gone off free market. England's got off free market. I want a controlled system. We got to regulate the markets. That's the way it is, economy. I like the system. I got to go up there and see if I can get some computer tech. She stole everything. That's free market. No justice in litigation systems. But the problem is I didn't have AI to examine what I went through. And I start putting it in there. It's a gathering device of information. Now I'm just using a Chromebook. Wasn't working before. It's working now. I woke up in the morning. I didn't know what was happening. Darn computer's working. God fixed it. Maybe it's time that people listen to me. I'm an Aries. That means I'm pretty strong-willed. People don't like me around here, and do I really give a hoot? I'll say it as it is. Like Donnie Cherry. Are you an Aries, Don? Huh. Nothing wrong saying it as it is. And you get yourself in trouble. Who cares? I'm 70 years old. I don't give a rat's butt. I say it as it is. This market's killing people. And if there's investors in that, they can get stuffed. I'm talking to an insurance broker up in Ottawa that wants to sell houses. She's Carney. She's looking at Carney. Because brokers that know anything sustainable, because this market system will crash. I know brokers around here, they know she'll crash, but they got the gift for abusing that. So, are they ethical? What if you can sell houses and people enjoy them and you got something to sell on? It makes a home for a family. And I'm going to tell you the relationship to everything in society is housing. If young people don't have homes, so we go into a hookup culture, and all this stuff. Girls don't want to get married now. They want to survive. Take 3 jobs. Work harder. I really don't want to work harder. I just want to make money from all the money that's been taken on me, all the blocks I've had with the PC party. Always cutting taxes, and no, we don't start businesses. So there's no value in there. There was no value. It just kept me poor, so I sat away and kept on learning, and I was using every avenue to get courses online. They refused to me. So I got an opportunity to get a $30,000 course in being an MBA in Australia, where the economy has more than free market garbage. It's not free market. It's going to be one of the major economies, but they're showing you all sorts of rubbish on here. Like they do trade with China. Carney's a trader. Didn't we make an agreement? It's like getting married. You made an agreement for world trade. So you set your scopes on it. Now you got a carbon economy. Does he say get rid of it? No, go gray to green. You can't transist anything. A lot of young people have got this feeling they're going to transmit it to instant where they want to go. It doesn't work that way. So they end up getting really depressed. Of course they do, and they have mental health problems. So we have to educate our children and Generation Z and X. It's start points. Now, if he's building a foundation of housing that you can afford, like I grew up on, after World War II, and all you boomer haters, let's listen to me. I grew up in a time where they came back from two. We spent a lot of money on munitions, and we had to rebuild the country. So we built wartime houses. The soldiers came back, and they had more babies. Were we the problem? I don't think so. I don't think we were the problem. I'm going to stay it. I'm not ashamed of being growing up in that era. I saw advancements that needed a foundation to develop, and they did develop from that. But in 1971, Richard Nixon decided to go off the gold standard, fighting the war in Vietnam. Remember that? To conquer Vietnam. Did he win? No, Vietnam, they had gold backing. Yeah. So here's the kicker. We're finding gold. Well, how are we going to get it at $4,000 an ounce or whatever? Well, you build your asset up, and maybe you can borrow on it and buy some to put behind you, or some model to gain all this gold that they're finding in Northern Ontario, Eastern Ontario, and Quebec. That's the future. Do we get rid of the banks? Well, they're the foundation, the building block of Canada. Think about it. It's easy to go to a bank, but if a bank crashes, it's not easy to go to it. And I think that's a good transition. Elizabeth May came up with maybe independent parties because they all have certain of little things that don't fit everybody to build democracies. She wasn't pushing the Green Party. And some of us are extremely crazy. I was extremely crazy. I said really high carbon tax. That's extremism. It wouldn't work, and it'd make everybody angry. So a transition. You got too many cars. Start downsizing. See how that goes. How many cars can you use? Start walking. Buy a bicycle. Get around. I don't think it'll hurt that much. These transitions are small. But no carbon tax is no change. And he's lying all the time. So I'm in the middle path of everything. I read books, and Mark Carney's book is making sense. Because I look at everything of value. Sometimes the price isn't always the value. Sometimes the value isn't always the price. Buy something cheap and it doesn't last. You buy something way out value. I think that's the synopsis of this political election. The other synopsis is if we don't do this, we'll separate. Won't be able to do business across Canada. Be no-fly zones and everything. That's why Pierre Elliott Trudeau kept federalism in. They could have put a no-fly zone over Quebec, the sovereign country. but he held it together. So that is a liberal value. We talk about neoliberalism. But I think if you look at the whole thing here, this free market system isn't really liberal. Liberals didn't have much power. No, the provincial provinces are all conservative, aren't they? I saw house prices go up with the provincial conservatives in every province. They do have self-governing rule. So I hear him saying, it's Trudeau. I don't think he had much power in it. And was it the immigrants? Well, I don't think they were taking jobs. They wanted the university educations. And, do you blame them? Everybody wants something. They want a house. But now they got so much student debt. And these immigrants came in and filled those places. Are they the ones that did it? Well, the free market system allowed them to do a lot of things, like Winfield almost lost the graveyard there. These were immigrants. They're coming in and under the free market system. We said no. So we put an end to it. Provincial provinces. Is it racism? No, it's just opening a door of a free market system that doesn't work. So I hope you understand me. And choose wisely. I don't care. If you want to choose Pierre Poilievre and he gets in, that's your choice. Because I'm planning to leave Canada just to be on the safe side. So you can do what you want to do. To me, it has no value to have more work. They're breaking up marriages. Oh, hell yeah. Marriages break it up all the time because of the more work ethic stuff. And where was that coming from? Your hospital system. Kelly Leach, she was running for Progressive Conservatives. She was saying the same message. Because what's she, a pediatrician that works so hard in the hospitals that are overfunded, where the healthcare might need integration. And maybe people looking after their health better by having better food, having green space, and having homes. Not building over everything. So that's my outlook. And if you're hiring she said she's coming up and asking, well, is he a politician? No, but he's got the skill to be a politician because he's a financial, logical man. I don't care if the label is liberal. I always like liberal. I always like Green Party and NDP. I never liked the free market system. And I'm seeing how I'm suffering with it because it's just ridiculous. This area's got no infrastructure of more businesses. So I look down here in Kitchener, and there's because there's no foundations, a bricks and mortar warehouse. I do drop sales on a computer. That works. How much am I investing? Well, platforms, $650. The entire platform. The website and development, so I can delegate and sell gemstones and crystals all across Canada. The international trader. It's not gold, but there's another system I can use, and it's gold. It buys cryptocurrency. It buys gold standard gold in the crypto economy. There's a blockchain, but it buys gold and silver and precious metals. We know that the fresh air is fresh air. We need some tangible assets. So, Doug Scott Wise, Doug Ford, thank you, sir. You've done a few things. I don't like anti-Semitism. You can get the hell out of Canada. That's from an Aries telling you something. My friend's Jewish. My friend's got money too. You might learn from him. And that is probably the oil sector, AI says. But that's the sector that's overbalanced. I want a transition. And you can drive your cars, but you might try to get a more budget-friendly fuel system, a hybrid or something. Or you might buy a smaller vehicle. You might buy a motorcycle. Well, I got a motorcycle license. I can use that. But, there's always options. Ways to, but a 2-car, 3-car, 4-car family, pay the price. You got choices. Oh, I don't like that one. I saw this guy going out of the harbor trying to impress a bunch of girls. He's got 900 horsepower on the back of his motorboat. How much fuel does that take? Is that a value? Goes real fast. Are they really impressed? Because I made some jokes. I said, Cleopatra went up and down. Maybe throw you off the back, throw those motors on there, boy. And the girls can make you blow bubbles and push that boat along. And they started laughing. He didn't like that. But I don't care. He's making sense. Cleopatra went up and down. That's a up and down the Nile River with Manslave. Yeah. Girls, there you go. If you let this housing market keep on going up, and I was hearing you, just pay your rent. Pay your rent. If your pants down or some damn thing. You know how many creeps are out there in the housing market system? They're one female, and I was reading that. They're looking for female tenants. Why? You got good trade there with old creepies. You gotta watch that. And I'm serious. You shouldn't have to pay be a prostitute yourself to have a place to live. I'm seeing girls, young women moving out of here. Landlord says, you gotta get out. Well, let me get my belongings and get out of here. This is the free market system. Not working. The ownership of houses is what young people have. So how many Canadian seniors have left Canada last year? Well, there must be room. There's because it's 240,000 seniors because of the free market system. Because we're no value anymore. Apparently, we have no knowledge of anything. Oh, well, I won't tell you anything then. I'm 70. I don't plan to die. I can't even play piano because I got getting the nutrition I need for my mind. When I get up to Ottawa, I'll get some micro supplements. And I'll get some food that I like to eat, like fresh fruits and vegetables. And a little bit of cheese, and beer, everything else. I can't live this way. I can't live on the food bank. This will crash down. So I came to a zone where they have no infrastructure of anything else except tourism. Over there, they got a bit of a mix in Grey County, but they got no housing. You know what the waiting list on housing is for seniors? That's why we leave. 15 years. 15 years. And they're not coming down, they're going up. So how do we live? We have to be expat? Well, I'm going to hold the fort in Ottawa and build a business online and trade with people and the world. And am I against Chinese trade? Well, they got things I might like. It's sort of like a racial thing here. They're Punjabi. Do I buy a bit of Punjabi? But it's in Canada. So we have fair trade and Chinese stuff. You used to buy a Chinese restaurant, but now you're getting into hating Chinese. See, that doesn't seem to make sense. Globalism, look at all the rubbish on there. Australia's owned by China. No, I don't think they have the land title. Just because they trade with China, yeah, tariff wars. So we can see who you are. There's a lot of Chinese in Australia. They've been there for a long time. It's a global market system. They were treating coal and iron ore and stuff. But then China switched to a renewable system as they knew it wasn't working. So the Australian government is really building an economy doing trade with China. They're not getting into parlor game politics and ivory towers. And eating apples so I could shove up his butthole. Not answering questions and asking more questions and eating a friggin' apple. Why didn't the witch come out and give him a poison apple? Hansel and Gretel or something. That's a really ridiculous thing. It just shows me he's not much of a leader at all. He's a bureaucrat, and he's one of Stephen Harper's boys. Yeah, David Suzuki said that we should throw him in jail, Stephen Harper. Oh no, he came out to support him. Donald, he's a clinical psychologist, Jorgen Peterson, teamed up with T-Rex Murphy. I'll solve him because he said he's going to sue me. Try. You might be eating coal. T-Rex there, he was a climate denier. There's a couple of newspapers here we got to really tither up to give him false information. Toronto Sun and Calgary Sun formulated in 215. Look it up, 215. And that's what I mean. Why are they going over there? Canadians to the Philippines. That's the girls. They're entrepreneurs and they're leaving Canada. Free markets don't work with entrepreneurial and startups and new multifunctional systems that you like going to a restaurant, you like going to, services. None of that'll work with one trick pony economy system of these sort of investments. Intelligent investment? That's what Heisenberg said. They come up with these investment schemes of intelligence. I don't know. I think that's pretty stupid intelligence. It's causing the housing market crash, not the housing market of everybody owning a house. So if he's saying cut off the GST, that sounds like a plan. I just want to hear a plan, son. He's saying work harder, keep living up on a broken housing market, free market system. It's killing Canadians. Give us free tickets to fly out of here. Not to fly the air probably up. You have the whole friggin' place to yourself. I want good politics, good economics. So, I was a Green Party member, but I'm switching over right now to a Liberal. Save the ass of my country I loved. But if it goes to a free market system, this banana friggin' republic useless. To where you can't buy any bananas. Because the price of bananas go up in a free market system. Gouging, everything's going up. So, Abercrombie, what did he do? He took out the gouging at the markets. That's what they do. They gouge. So we have to have a regulated economy. You'll be eating potato chips Everything's a gouge, So what's a scam? If you let the free market system in, it's the biggest scam alive. Think about it, free market. And these girls say, I don't know if he'd be he's not got any political experience. Well, running banks is a sort of experience I like. Maybe he can run this country better.